If there's abuse going on in your family, it is your business. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist. I've been counseling men and women who've experienced or who have been perpetrators of abuse for many years now. One of the things that I want to talk about is this phenomenon of, how people will commonly say if they know that abuse is going on in the family or if they suspect something funny is happening in the family, what you will frequently hear people say is, well, I didn't want to get involved. It's not my business. I don't want to get involved in other people's business. Some sort of variation of that, right? And I'm here to tell you that if there's any form of child abuse going on in your family, it is your business. Children are helpless. Children cannot fight for themselves and fend for themselves in most cases. When they're going against an adult, sometimes multiple adults that are abusing them. It is your responsibility as an adult who can intervene if you see something, if you hear something, then you need to say something. And, it does not matter. It does not matter if your family member is going to get mad with you and call you out of your name and blow up. They're not in a position to make decisions about child welfare anymore. And so I don't want to hear anything they have to say about what's going on if I know that what I'm seeing is not right. The gloves have to come off. And so, of course, I think, people need to be adamant about saying something too. It doesn't need to be a situation where, someone can sort of explain away abuse or deny that they're abusing their children, outright lie to you. And that what they're telling you is a lie. That's not something you need to let slide. There's children who die from that, and even children who don't die from that, they have long-term life consequences that sometimes children don't ever recover from that. They have nightmares, they have challenges in their relationships, they have challenges at their job, they have PTSD, they have anxiety, they have panic attacks, they have depression, and they spend days upon days in their bed. They can't clean their house. Sometimes they don't want to get out of bed to take a shower. Sometimes they may have to take medication. They may never heal from the amount of abuse that they may experience from their parent. And so, as a family member, as a friend of the family member, you do have a responsibility. You have a community and a societal responsibility to intervene and say something regardless of how that abuser is going to feel. Call the police, call Child Protective Services, say it to their face and confront them in front of people. And I'm not telling you anything that I would not do or that I have not done. And, and I have probably, quite a few people still upset with me about that. And I don't care, because at least I've said something. And as an adult, what are you really going to do to me? I don't give a damn about you getting mad with me. I don't care, because you shouldn't be putting your hands on children. You shouldn't be hurting your children. You shouldn't be, abusing your children in any manner. So as an adult, you have an ethical and moral responsibility to intervene and say something. If you do not, their blood is on your hands, and you are just as responsible, if not more responsible, as the adult who is perpetrating and doing the offense, because you sat there and you knew what was going on was wrong and you chose to do nothing. Shame on you. Shame on you for doing nothing. And you're going to have to live with that. And, there's many adult children who I have counseled over the years who have said, people saw something and they didn't do anything, the community didn't care, all these kinds of things. So if you're one of those people that stand by and allow it to happen and not say, you know what, let me take the children for a little while. I don't think you're in a place to care for them. Let me, you're not in a place to, make decisions over your children. Your children need someplace safe to go. Your children need clothes. Your children need to eat. Or we need to come up with some solutions on what we can do with the children. Sometimes people are stressed. Sometimes people cannot handle the responsibility of children. But if you see something, say something. Thank you.